I want to talk a little bit about how I fixed up an old block plane. So I got a block plane and it looked something like this. And I wanted to fix it all up, and now it looks more like this. Flattened sole, cleaned up the edges, cleaned a lot of the rust off. Did a lot of the rust, cleaned up the blade a lot better than it was and sharpened it up. And there are a lot of how-to videos that explain step-by-step how to fix up an old plane. And so I won't go through everything today because you can find that elsewhere. But I wanted to go through a few things that I did that maybe were a little bit different or shortcuts and worked for me. One of the big things was I needed something to be able to flatten the sole of the plane. So of course you have to put it all back together before you do that. But I was really having trouble finding something that was cheap and flat and available. I'd heard to use a piece of granite countertop. That's good, but my home center wouldn't sell me a scrap of that. And the next thing I've heard people use is a thick plate glass, something you would use for a thick glass shelf or something. They of course didn't have any of those. So I did find this here. This is a piece of granite tile that would be used to make a floor. And I tested it out at the store, tested it out when I brought it home, and near as I could tell, it's as flat as you can expect. Very good and good enough for me for resurfacing this plane and flattening it up. It's a little dirty right now, but before I used it, I cleaned it up with some surface cleaner, and then I used this this paper. Not an advertisement for this paper, I just want to show what worked. This has what they call a no-slip grip backing, and I wasn't really sure about this before I bought it. I thought I might have to get some kind of spray adhesive or oil or water or something to stick the sandpaper to the piece of granite so I could use a lot of force to go back and forth. And what I found was when that granite was cleaned and used this non-slip grip backing, I had no trouble keeping the sandpaper stuck to the granite. Didn't move at all, didn't have to stick anything down. It works really well. So that might be something that you can use for if you want to try something like this on your own. To clean off a lot of the rust on the sides and other areas, I just used some WD-40 with these Scotch-Brite scouring pads. It worked really well. I'm not going to try to sell this or anything. This is something for me to use on a daily basis, so I didn't have to make it perfect. I'm not going to re-spray paint it or anything. I just wanted to get it in workable condition to use on my own. So that's why I didn't worry about a lot of that stuff that some people worry about when they're doing this kind of project. So that's just a couple things that I used. Again, you can find step-by-step videos and websites all over the place, but I wanted to get something that was rusty into something that's usable for my daily work, and this worked really well. You'll have to sharpen the blade using other methods like a water stone or an oil stone or something, but for most of the body work and fixing up a plane like this, those couple things worked really well. So hopefully that if you can use some of that, that will help you as well if you have a similar project.